What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. Bob McKenzie had a great column on Noah Hanifin going into the 2014-2015 season. One of the top prospects eligible for the 2015 draft. Him and Jack Eichel are really spearheading the rebirth of Massachusetts hockey, and Colin White's in that mix, and there's plenty of other really good players coming up. I've talked about Southie native Cam Askew ad nauseum, and I've talked to pretty much all the kids from the New England area. I know I raised a little bit of controversy. Controversy is not the right word, but I heard from a source that when Hanifin was accelerating his studies this past summer, that USA Hockey was not happy with it and was doing what they could to block it. Well, wasn't that situation per se, but let's just say it's weird that the third best player in the draft wasn't invited to the U.S. World Junior Camp when fellow draft eligible defenseman Brandon Carlo was, and then 16-year-old Austin Matthews was. Kind of, I don't know. Maybe we'll see who's onto something, but that was 2.5, 3 months ago, so I'm not going to bother going into it. But back to Hanifin, I've been a fan of his going back since I remember hearing about how good he was from his cousin and from my father, who's works in the same town he grew up in, and I was kind of like, yeah, okay. The kid's really, really good at hockey. Everyone's really good at hockey, but 2013 last year at the draft, I was talking to one of the guys who was doing scouting reports, and he said we were talking about that draft we were at, and then 2014 and 2015. He goes, from Boston. I said, yeah. He said something about Eichel. I said, yeah, he's going to be a hell of a player. He goes, what about the Hanifin kid? He goes, I might have him ahead of Eichel. And I was like, Jesus. And then, you look at Hanifin was supposedly the best defenseman they've ever had at the national development team, camps. Back in his trying to 17 team about a year ago. So, a little more, 15 months ago. But you catch my drift. He will be in the mix. And you look at the great, commonalities among great teams, and it's having stud number one defenseman. And you look at the Stanley Cup champions coming back. Obviously, LA with Drew Doughty, Chicago with Duncan Keith, the Boston Bruins with Zdeno Chara. Just having these amazing players on the back end that can play in all situations and can play 25, 30 minutes a night in some cases. The Bruins case just have Chara the whole game, and then wonder why he's burnt out in the second round. It's in handle that, but having that commonality. Even going back with Anaheim, having Niedermeyer, having Pronger. Looking at the Detroit Red Wings with Nick Lidstrom all those years, and having those equalizers, that really make your team better all facets of the game, from making life tough for opponents in front of the net to moving the puck up, creating transition, really making plays and playing a full ice game. And I think having those defensemen is a commonality, and I think that'll help Hanifin going in. It's going to be tough. Right now, supposedly, Eichel's closer to McDavid than people want to talk about. I still got McDavid ahead of him. Here's the thing with Connor McDavid, Eichel, and Hanifin. Two of them are from my neck of the woods, and the other one has the same first name as me. So I like all three prospects. To put it. I wonder if Connor McDavid's middle name is like James or Jim or something. No, see, I don't want two CJs. There's only one of us. I kid, but I think it's going to be Hanifin will be in that mix all season long, as will Eichel, and obviously McDavid's the real deal. So yeah, they're going to be three really, really, really elite players. It's just a good draft all around between Barzal, Bittner, Colin White off the development team, Zach Werenski, Kylington, Pavel Zacha. I can rattle off names, a freaking day here, but I like the kid from London there, Marner. Really, really good. So, Hanifin's definitely in that mix, but this will be if you're looking for a really, really good player, this is a draft for it. I think last year's draft was more of a wait and see, but I think there's some NHL ready talent from this crop of players, and the fact that Hanifin's going to be a 17-year-old freshman at Boston College and one of the youngest players in college hockey in recent memory, since Taves didn't turn 18 until the April of his freshman year. So, Hanifin, I believe, turns 18 in January or February. Don't quote me on that, but anyway, big year in store for draft eligible players. And again, I will be down living La Vida Loca in South Florida for the draft in 2015. I hope it's 275 days away from right now. What's the day? The 23rd? 23rd of September. So, anyway, that's on this episode of the Power Play with CJ on Noah Hanifin being in the Jack and Mac debate. That's what they're calling it. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the off season and beyond. Later, guys.